Hello and welcome to Colonial Crossfire's Top Headlines. I'm Jessica Nix. This week's news was non-stop, so here is your weekly wrap-up. The president's coronavirus results dominated the news cycle this week. After Trump announced he tested positive on October 3rd, he flew in Marine One to Walter Reed Hospital where he stayed for 3 days. Outside of Walter Reed, Trump's supporters gathered in support of the president. And on the second day of his stay, Trump enjoyed a drive by these supporters in an SUV, putting the health of his Secret Service detail in the car with him at risk. Many criticized the drive-by and remembered their experiences with loved ones who died alone of COVID-19 and were never permitted to leave the hospital. The president's coronavirus case has led to a lot of distrust towards the doctors and staff. The president's doctor, Dr. Sean P. Conley, has given inconsistent timelines, touted a fast recovery for Trump, and has not been forthcoming about Trump's vitals and condition. Trump returned to the White House on Monday night, October 6th, after receiving a special antibody cocktail treatment and a stem cell treatment for the virus. During the week, Trump tweeted about how much better he felt and even downplayed the virus by telling Americans to, quote, not let the virus control their lives. He even called it a, quote, blessing in disguise that he got the virus. Beyond the president, many in his inner circle are testing positive after a Rose Garden nomination for Judge Amy Coney Barrett for the Supreme Court. Our new correspondent, David Vargas, will take you on a deep dive of who is positive and what this means for a Supreme Court nomination.
Thank you, Jessica. What started off as a cheerful celebration to commemorate Judge Amy Coney Barrett as President Trump's Supreme Court nominee unfortunately turned, quite literally, sickening. On Saturday, September 26th, President Trump hosted the ceremony in the Rose Garden where over 150 people attended, most of whom were maskless. Shortly after the ceremony ended, news broke that COVID had entered the ceremony uninvited. Over 20 prominent government officials and workers have tested positive, including First Lady Melania Trump, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, White House aide Kellyanne Conway, White House counsel Stephen Miller, White House aide Hope Hicks, and White House press secretary Kayla McEnany. Most who tested positive only have mild symptoms and are self-quarantining for the next few days. Absent from the list of self-quarantiners is Attorney General Bill Barr, who is seen here talking closely with positive case Kellyanne Conway. Many are now questioning if Judge Amy Coney Barrett's Senate hearing should still occur, especially with Senators Mike Lee of Utah and Tom Tillis of North Carolina testing positive, both of whom are on the Senate Judiciary Committee and attended the Rose Garden ceremony. Democrats are urging to push the hearing until after the election. However, Republican leaders are adamant on starting the 4-day hearing on October 12th. Here's what Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had to say when asked if he would take the Senate out of session.
But so far, the disease has not kept us from operating as we would normally, and there's no reason to expect that to be the case in the foreseeable future.
Back to you, Jessica.
Thank you, David, and welcome to the team. The vice presidential candidates took the stage in Salt Lake City last Wednesday night, with candidates sitting 12 feet away and behind a layer of plexiglass. The Veep debate was more traditional compared to the chaos of the first presidential debate. Vice President Mike Pence was calm and monotone, but many of his statements were misleading. Pence talked over the moderator, Susan Page, and attacked the Biden-Harris ticket on plagiarizing the Trump administration's coronavirus response plan. California Senator Kamala Harris gave a more enthusiastic performance and called Pence out for many of his misleading statements, including saying the administration's coronavirus response, quote, forfeited their chance for re-election. A big talking point of the night was when a fly landed on Pence's head and stayed there for 2.5 minutes. 13 suspects were charged in an alleged plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. 6 were charged with federal felonies and 7 were charged by the state. The suspects are all associated with or are members of the militia group Wolverine Watchmen. They planned this attack because of personal complaints about how Whitmer handled the coronavirus pandemic. One of the suspects claimed that they were planning on carrying out the abduction prior to the 2020 election. According to the Detroit News, the suspects are also considering attacking the Michigan state capitol. The FBI discovered this plot on social media earlier this year and investigated for months before they issued search and arrest warrants last Wednesday. Whitmer was quick to publicly blame President Donald Trump for encouraging the suspect's actions by calling his inability to condemn white supremacists at the presidential debate a motivation for hate groups. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.